India-Bangladesh friendship. 50 years ago, on this day, India recognized Bangladesh as an independent nation in support of Bangladesh's War of Liberation. To commemorate this landmark occasion, His Excellency Narendra Modi, Prime Minister of India, and Her Excellency Sheikh Hasina, Prime Minister of Bangladesh, declared to jointly celebrate 6th December as India-Bangladesh Maitri Diwas, Friendship Day.
এবারে সংগ্রাম আমাদের মুক্তির সংগ্রাম এবারে সংগ্রাম স্বাধীনতার সংগ্রাম
In 1971, under the leadership of Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, the people of East Bengal started a heroic struggle for freedom against an oppressive regime. During the 9-month-long liberation war, over 3 million people lost their lives and more than 200,000 women were violated in East Bengal. In India, there was spontaneous support for the people of Bangladesh. People of India opened their hearts and homes to over 10 million people who fled from genocidal atrocities by Pakistani forces and took refuge in India. Bangladesh's struggle for independence and humanitarian situation received international attention. On 16th December 1971, when people of Bangladesh finally got freedom, it was celebrated on both sides of the border. The composite culture of both countries has been enriched by humanist philosophies of mystics such as Lalon Fakir, who spread the message of tolerance and compassion. 11th century Buddhist scholar Atisa Dipankar, born in present-day Bangladesh, took the message of Buddhism to different parts of Asia. Nobel laureate poet Rabindranath Tagore is the author of the national anthems of both countries. Iconic Bengali poet Qazi Nazrul Islam, the national poet of Bangladesh, was born in India and was laid to rest in Bangladesh. Mahatma Gandhi's ideals of peace, non-violence, and communal harmony continue to inspire people in both countries. Bangabandhu was inspired by struggle against imperialism by several leaders such as Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. Building on the foundation of shared sacrifices and civilizational ties, Bangladesh-India relationship has culminated into a deep understanding that goes beyond a strategic partnership. Today, Bangladesh and India share a robust and forward-looking partnership in diverse areas. Bangladesh is India's largest trade partner in South Asia, and India is the second-largest trade partner of Bangladesh. Both countries share 54 rivers, which unite and sustain people on both sides. Bangladesh is also India's largest development partner. Both countries have a young population and share vibrant people-to-people ties. Largest number of Indian visas are issued in Bangladesh. India and Bangladesh cooperation in extending timely medical assistance during the COVID-19 pandemic bears testimony to the lasting spirit of solidarity. Upholding the humanitarian spirit of liberation war, today Bangladesh hosts over 1 million displaced persons from Rakhine region. Lasting friendship between Bangladesh and India is the fulcrum of peace, stability, and prosperity in South Asia and beyond. Bangladesh and India are among the top contributors to UN peacekeeping forces. Both countries are spearheading regional initiatives in the areas such as connectivity, climate action, disaster response, and counter-terrorism. Today, we celebrate this spirit of friendship based on shared cultural heritage, pay homage to the heroes from the past, and reaffirm the collective resolve to work towards a better world. Where the mind is without fear and the head is held high, where knowledge is free, where the world has not been broken up into fragments by narrow domestic walls, where words come out from the depths of truth, where tireless striving stretches its arms towards perfection, where the clear stream of reason has not lost its way into the dreary desert sand of dead habit, where the mind is led forward by thee into ever-widening thought and action, into that heaven of freedom. My Father, let my country awake.
গঙ্গা আমার মা, পদ্মা আমার মা, গঙ্গা আমার মা।
May I kindly request His Excellency Mr. K.M. Khalid, State Minister of Culture, Government of the People's Republic of Bangladesh, Mr. Rabindranath Shringla, Foreign Secretary, Minister of External Affairs, Government of India, Ambassador Vijay Thakur Singh, Director General, Indian Council of World Affairs, and His Excellency Ambassador Muhammad Imran, High Commissioner, Bangladesh High Commission, New Delhi, to kindly come up on stage and take their seats. I request His Excellency Ambassador Muhammad Imran, High Commissioner, Bangladesh High Commission, New Delhi, to kindly deliver his remarks.
His Excellency Mr. K.M. Khalid, MP, Honorable State Minister for Cultural Affairs of Bangladesh, His Excellency Mr. Harshavardhan Shringla, Foreign Secretary of India, Ambassador Vijay Thakur Singh, DG, ICWA, Mrs. Simin Hossain, and Mr. Hassanullah Kinu, MPs of Bangladesh Parliament, Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. A very good afternoon to you all. It's a great honor to be here today to observe the Maitri Diwas, the Friendship Day, and the 50th anniversary of Bangladesh-India diplomatic relations, along with so many of our friends at this prestigious and historic venue of Sub 2 House. I thank the Indian Council for World Affairs for organizing this event, and also the Minister of External Affairs for their all-out support. Today, on this important occasion of Maitri Diwas, we pay our solemn tribute to our father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, and all other leaders who laid the foundation of our ever-growing bilateral relations. Let me start by quoting from that historic and long-awaited letter that we received on 6th of December 1971 from the then Indian Prime Minister, addressed to Bangladesh's Prime Minister, conveying India's recognition to Bangladesh. The letter said, I quote, "However long the road and however exacting the sacrifice that our two peoples may be called upon to make the future, I am certain that we shall emerge triumphant," unquote. And in next 10 days, we become triumphant and we emerged victorious, started our new journey. But true to that same prophecy, one must admit that today, we, the two friendly neighbors, have achieved many more major milestones together over the last 50 years. Currently, we are enjoying one of the most glorious periods of our relationship. Today's joint celebration of the Maitri Diwas demonstrates another testament to this ever-growing friendship between our two friendly nations. From the time immemorial, the people of Bangladesh and India have lived side by side, shared each other's happiness, and sympathized with each other in times of their distress. The closeness of relations was aptly demonstrated during Bangladesh's War of Liberation in 1971, when we fought together, shed bloods together, and finally rejoiced together. In his speech in 10th of January, 1972, at the Palam Airport, our father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, termed this new journey as a journey from darkness to light, from captivity to freedom, from desolation to hope. At the same time, he humbly recalled the support and sacrifice of the people of India. People of Bangladesh always gratefully acknowledge this contribution, which is an integral part of our national history. Ladies and gentlemen, each bilateral relationship has its own character. For Bangladesh-India relations, it is not only the geographical proximity that bring us together, it is also the shared history and common heritage of culture, philosophy, religion, and thought. Our aspirations mingle through our common commitment to freedom, equality, and progress, as well as to the ideals of democracy, socialism, and secularism. The high-level visits, frequent contacts, multitude of engagements in all possible areas between the two countries shape the overall trajectory of our bilateral relations. And the relationship has got a major boost through the frequent interactions and visits between our leaderships in the past decade and also in the recent past. Now, we are looking forward to exchange of more high-level visits in near future as the COVID situation becomes a little bit better. Dear friends, Bangladesh has come a long way since its independence. Under the leadership of our Honorable Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, our country has made remarkable strides in all sectors in the past 12 years. Today, Bangladesh stands in the Committee of Nations as a peace-loving, responsible, and contributing member. The United Nations has recently recommended Bangladesh for graduation from LDC category to developing country status. In this glorious journey of development, India has always been with us as a trusted friend and partner. As we are celebrating the Maitri Diwas and 50 years of diplomatic relations between our two nations, we may look forward beyond today into the next 50 years or even more. It is now seemingly a fast-changing, complex, hyper-connected, and uncertain world. The COVID-19 pandemic has added another dimension to the massive transformation. The economies of Bangladesh and India are complementary. Both the countries can work together to realize the potentials of the global economy, including through the promotion of free trade at the bilateral level. Collaborations can also be deepened in combating the common threats like terrorism, cyber crimes, drug crimes, and other transnational crimes, and managing the borders in a well-coordinated manner. Ladies and gentlemen, today's joint celebration of Maitri Diwas does not merely mark the 50 years of India's recognition to Bangladesh. This is rather a sheer demonstration of the depth of mutual bonhomie and commitment to working together to attain the common goals for the betterment of the two peoples. Let Bangladesh and India march ahead together, guided by the spirit of the shared past, and produce more success, keeping an eye on the shared future. Before I conclude, I once again thank ICWA and the Minister of External Affairs for organizing this commemorative event. Long live Bangladesh-India friendship and cooperation. I thank you all.
Thank you, sir. May I kindly request His Excellency Mr. K.M. Khalid, State Minister of Culture, Government of the People's Republic of Bangladesh, to deliver his remarks.
Very good afternoon to all. His Excellency Mr. Rabindranath Tagore, Foreign Secretary of India, His Excellency Mr. Muhammad Imran, Bangladesh High Commissioner to India, Ambassador Vijay Thakur Singh, Director General ICWA, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. Let me begin by thanking the Minister of External Affairs of India for organizing today's event to celebrate the Maitri Diwas. I am truly honored to join you this afternoon. Today's occasion is a historic one for both Bangladesh and India. This is the first time that two friendly neighboring nations are jointly celebrating the Maitri Diwas, the day on which India formally recognized Bangladesh as an independent and sovereign state in 1971. In this respect, we are thankful to our two prime ministers who decided in March this year to commemorate 6th December as the Maitri Diwas. 2021 is a momentous year for Bangladesh-India relationship, which is marked by the celebration of the Golden Jubilee of independence of Bangladesh. Birth centenary of our father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, and 50 years of establishment of diplomatic ties between the two countries. Today's joint celebration of Maitri Diwas opens up another shining page in the history of our bilateral relationships. I think the audience can understand Bengalis. Huge Bengalis are here. Bengalis are here, so I want to speak some in my mother language, that is in the year of 71. আমি তখন মাত্র 14 বছর বয়সে একটি ছেলে। এই 6 ডিসেম্বরের জন্য আমরা এই একটি কাঙ্ক্ষিত দিনের জন্য আমরা দীর্ঘ সময় অপেক্ষা করেছি, 9 মাস। লক্ষ লক্ষ মানুষের আত্মদানের মধ্য দিয়ে এবং ভারতের সেদিনের সরকার আমাদের প্রতি যে সহায়তার হাত প্রসারিত করেছিল, 1 কোটি অর্থাৎ 10 মিলিয়ন মানুষকে আপনি আশ্রয় দিয়েছিলেন as a refugees. The day of 6th December 1971, যখন ভারত আমাদেরকে রিকগনিশন দিল, তখন যুদ্ধ জয়ের এক দ্বার প্রান্তে আমরা পৌঁছে গিয়েছিলাম। সেই সময়টির কথা মনে করে আমি তদানীন্তন সরকার এবং ভারতবর্ষের প্রতি আমি আমার কৃতজ্ঞতা জানাচ্ছি বাংলাদেশ সরকারের পক্ষ থেকে আবার এই 50 বছর পূর্তিতে। We know that Bangladesh is সহযোগিতা যে হাটের প্রসেস, সেটির একটি পরিক্রমা। আমরা আজকে বাংলাদেশকে ভারতের সবচেয়ে বড় ডেভেলপমেন্ট পার্টনার, এবং বাংলাদেশ is India's biggest trade partner of South Asia, and India is the second biggest trade partner of Bangladesh. The both countries complement each other and offer a brighter prospect of reaping more economic benefits together. Cooperation between the two governments has also been a driving force for boosting physical and digital connectivity. Both the nations have enhanced the close contrast between the two peoples and geared up the momentum of cultural education and local access over the past decade. Ladies and gentlemen, the famous Greek philosopher Aristotle gave a definition of friend. He said, quote, "What is friend? A single soul dwelling in two bodies," unquote. The 50 years long Indo-Bangladesh ties can be a glaring instance of such robust bonding, where bonds of hearts and minds have surpassed the political and national border. Solid friendship requires constant nurturing, consistent efforts aimed at resolving the pending issues and understanding about each other in changing dynamics. I am confident that we would continue to overcome the shared challenges and solidify the partnership to write more success stories on Indo-Bangladesh friendship in the next upcoming days. Thank you. Thanking you all. Joy Bangla, Joy Bangabandhu, Bangladesh, Chirojibi Hok.
Thank you, Your Excellency, for your insightful remarks. May I now kindly request Mr. Harshvardhan Shringla, Foreign Secretary, Ministry of External Affairs, Government of India, to deliver his address.
Honorable Minister of State for Cultural Affairs of Bangladesh, His Excellency Mr. K.M. Khalid, Honorable Member of Parliament, Mr. Hasanul Haq Inu, who as former Minister of Information is a strong proponent of very good ties between India and Bangladesh and continues to be, and Mrs. Inu, who is with us. We also have a Member of Parliament from Bangladesh, Ms. Samin Hussain, welcome to her as well. Honorable High Commissioner of Bangladesh, His Excellency Mr. Mohammad Imran, Director General of the ICWA, Master Vijay Thakur Singh, former High Commissioner of India to Bangladesh, Master Rajit Mitra, who will be leading our panel of discussions today. We also have, it is very honored to have another former High Commissioner, Shri Pinakaranjan Chakravarti with us today. Welcome to him as well. We have some very esteemed panelists. We have Shri Sabyasachi Datta of the Asian Conference, who again has done a number of very, very important substantive events involving India and Bangladesh. Shri Dipanjan Roy Chaudhary, who is editor of the Economic Times, again, someone who is an authority on India-Bangladesh relations. Joint Secretary in the Ministry of External Affairs, Srimati Smita Pant, who has worked very hard to put this event together. Other distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, friends. It is a very great honor for me to join the celebration of the Maitri Diwas today. Loosely translated, this means Friendship Day. Maitri, however, has a much deeper connotation. It is a relationship that has a depth and a significance beyond the ordinary. It is a bond that has stood the test of time. And so it is with the relationship between India and Bangladesh. This day marks not just the 50th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relations between India and Bangladesh. It celebrates a unique relationship between two great nations and two great peoples. It celebrates a common heritage. It commemorates a great joint struggle. It highlights our shared aspirations. 50 years ago, the people of Bangladesh were engaged in a mighty struggle. They fought to liberate themselves in one of the greatest movements in history from a vicious regime. India is privileged to have played a role in this struggle for Bangladesh's independence. India is privileged that it could stand shoulder to shoulder with the people of Bangladesh in their most difficult moments. India shared their joy when the people of Bangladesh emerged from the struggle as a victorious people and a free nation. India shared the sorrows of those who paid and were to pay the ultimate price of victory. India saluted the leadership of Bangladesh, of Bangabandhu, one of the greatest leaders, historical figures of our times, and a man who literally shaped the destiny of nations. India recognized Bangladesh as a free and independent nation while it was still fighting its war of liberation. It was the second country in the world to do so. It was a leap of faith. India did so because it was convinced of the righteousness of the Bangladeshi cause and the certainty that it would prevail. Maitri Diwas marks all of this and more. It marks the trust that our nations and peoples have in each other. It signifies the faith that both nations and peoples have in a better tomorrow and exhibits a shared determination to work towards it. That the Prime Ministers of India and Bangladesh decided to designate this historic day as Maitri Divas demonstrates the resilience, the durability, and the strength of our bonds. It honors and consecrates the memory of the shared struggle and the continued solidarity between our two peoples and our two nations. Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi, in his message on the occasion of Maitri Divas today, and he has stated this just a short while ago, recalled and celebrated the foundations of our 50 years of friendship and looked forward to working with Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina to further expand and deepen our ties. That India and Bangladesh are together celebrating this day, not just in Dhaka and Delhi, but in 18 capitals across the world, confirms that the bonds are not just strong, it confirms and conveys the shared optimism for the future and the certainty that they will endure and grow. India and Bangladesh, driven by the aspirations and values of their people, are upwardly mobile nations. Both countries are democracies that are consistently growing and diversifying in economic terms. This is a good occasion to draw attention to Bangladesh's successes in its economic journey. Its most recent success, which the High Commissioner alluded to, is its ascent from LDC status. According to the United Nations, only 6 countries have made this transition in the last 50 years. Bangladesh is among a handful of nations that will cross this milestone in the immediate future. India salutes this considerable achievement. We have, as we did in their war of liberation, stood shoulder to shoulder with the people of Bangladesh in this battle for better lives and prosperity for our peoples. Our good wishes will constantly accompany them in this continuing journey. We are and will remain fellow travelers in this road. India will not just make its goodwill felt, but its resources, its capabilities available to the common cause of both countries. Most recently, India and Bangladesh fought the scourge of the COVID-19 pandemic together. Our Prime Ministers attended a virtual meeting of South Asian leaders convened by Prime Minister Modi in March 2020 on combating this challenge. They contributed to an emergency response fund. Senior healthcare professionals and practitioners from both countries have shared their experiences and information formally and informally and continue to do so. Bangladesh was one of the first destinations for Indian vaccines. The oxygen express between India and Bangladesh is another example of our solidarity in the face of this health disaster. Bangladesh was the destination of Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi's first visit after the disruptions and lockdowns of the pandemic. He traveled to Bangladesh in March this year as the chief guest to commemorate the celebrations of the Golden Jubilee of the creation of Bangladesh. This occasion was one of a Triveni. The 2 other events that were being commemorated were the birth centenary of the founding father of Bangladesh, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, and of the event that we are celebrating today, 50 years of India-Bangladesh diplomatic relations. The President of India will participate in the Golden Jubilee Victory Day celebrations in Dhaka on the 16th of December. This will also be the Honorable President's first visit overseas since the COVID pandemic. Bangladesh was the destination of the first visits outside India of the President of India and Prime Minister after the pandemic. The President of India, Prime Minister of India, and External Affairs Minister of India have visited Bangladesh in the course of this year, or would have visited in the course of this year. This signifies the highest importance that we attach to the relationship with Bangladesh. The message from Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, which we will shortly see, adds to this historic nature and solemnity of today's commemoration. The visionary leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina have provided strategic guidance and weight in shaping the contemporary and future trajectory of India-Bangladesh relations. India and Bangladesh today share a relationship that is stronger, more diversified, and mature. Like in all strong relationships, there have been challenges. The period after the horrific assassination of Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman on the 15th of August 1975 had its difficulties. We have faced other complex and troubling situations. These have been tackled and continue to be tackled in the framework of mutual trust and cooperation, transcending a conventional strategic partnership between our two nations. India deeply appreciates Bangladesh's decision to erect a memorial to honor the 1,660 and more Indian soldiers who laid down their lives fighting for the cause of Bangladesh. This gesture is deeply appreciated by their surviving and serving comrades in the armed forces and by the families of these gallant warriors, indeed all of India. It is a matter of particular satisfaction that we are joined today by veterans of the war. To them belongs a rare satisfaction, that of witnessing through the continuing friendship and partnership between our nations, the good that came from their victory. Their sacrifices and of those who died were not in vain. They're joined by others from different walks of life who have worked on strengthening this relationship over the last 5 decades. India has conferred some of its highest civilian awards on a few of them recently. This goodwill has provided the foundations on which a record of innovative diplomatic solutions to bilateral issues is slowly and surely being constructed. With the signing and ratification of the land boundary agreement in 2015 and the demarcation of the maritime boundary, both nations have unlocked the potential for expanding cooperation in the joint management of the border and the blue economy. This is also the spirit that underlies the transformation in connectivity between the two countries. 5 of the 6 railway lines between the two countries that existed prior to 1965 have been revived. The 6th will soon be revived. In addition, a railway line is being built to link Akoda and Agartala, which in principle would provide a direct line between Bangladesh's western border with India and eastern border with India. India and Bangladesh share the Bay of Bengal and 54 rivers. These are being exploited to create a low carbon footprint, connectivity through waterways and coastal shipping. Cargo, for example, can now move to Agartala from Kolkata via Chattogram. India and Bangladesh are linked through power grids. A common energy market is emerging. Over 1,100 megawatts of power now moves across the border. India and Bangladesh are cooperating in power generation, including but not exclusively through the flagship 1320 megawatt super thermal Maitri power plant project. India and Bangladesh are also cooperating in the generation of civil nuclear power. Bangladesh has joined the International Solar Alliance. Cooperation in renewable energy is a distinct possibility. India and Bangladesh will soon be linked through hydrocarbon pipelines, which will enable us to reassure the energy security of both our countries. Bangladesh is India's biggest trade partner in South Asia. India is the second largest trade partner of Bangladesh. Despite the pandemic, bilateral trade grew at an unprecedented rate of 14%, from $9.46 billion in the year 2019-20 to $10.78 billion in the year 2021. Bangladesh's exports to India have now crossed the $1 billion mark. Post-pandemic realities are emerging. India and Bangladesh will cooperate increasingly as the pandemic cooperation between health professionals has shown in the digital space. A newer generation will find new issues to work on: fintech, digital payment solutions, and digital enablers fostered by programs such as JAM, Jan Dhan Aadhaar Mobile, Trinity, UPI, Digital India Stack are future areas of cooperation. IT parks are being built in 12 districts of Bangladesh to further cooperation in this domain. Healthcare has always been an important area of bilateral engagement. contemporary initiatives such as the Ayushman Bharat and Jal Jeevan Mission provide newer areas to work together on. India and Bangladesh, I'm sure, will cooperate in building a green economy through climate actions and ambitions. The protection and management of shared spaces such as the Sundarbans has upsides for both. India will continue to work with Bangladesh in facilitating the movement of people and goods through better border infrastructure and policy frameworks. India will also continue to work with Bangladesh on a peaceful and stable border through better border management and security cooperation. Improved border infrastructure is helping border guarding forces keep the border safe, including through joint patrolling and the real-time exchange of information. India will endeavor to remain a trusted development partner of Bangladesh's. Bangladesh is the largest single destination for Indian development partnership resources. More than a third of India's soft loans through concessional lines of credit are deployed with Bangladesh. Credits worth more than $10 billion on the softest terms have been extended. This is an indication of our priorities. Defense cooperation already being supported by increased interaction, and a $500 billion line of credit in defense is being scaled up. Interoperability, maritime security cooperation, and ensuring sustainable use of maritime resources are emerging as areas of cooperation. India and Bangladesh are working on these and other areas through constructs such as the IORA, BIMSTEC, and the Indian Ocean Naval Symposium. The people-to-people connect has continued to increase exponentially. The greatest numbers of visitors to India is from Bangladesh. Indians and Bangladeshis are meeting and building more friendships and partnerships in academic settings, in healthcare, in intellectual spaces, through businesses, in pilgrimage locations, and in tourist destinations. A Kolkata-Dhaka dialogue is being institutionalized. More dialogues are being organized under the BIMSTEC and BBIN frameworks. A Bangabandhu chair has been established in Delhi University. Both countries share a strong commitment to counter destabilizing forces that aid and abet terrorism and radicalization. Strengthening cooperation in tackling new and emerging challenges such as misinformation and disinformation through the internet is of the highest importance. Effective cooperation between both countries will go a long way in preserving social harmony. For people of my generation, the 1971 war is an indelible part of our lived experience. The Pakistani army's genocidal atrocities in East Bengal in March 1971 resulted in over 3 million people being killed and countless violated with horrific brutality. Over 10 million people from East Bengal took refuge in India. Today, in a similar humanitarian gesture, Bangladesh hosts over 1 million displaced persons from across the border. India joins the international community in appreciating this powerful statement. It was my honor to have spent a significant part of my professional career in working on the India-Bangladesh relationship. It is also a source of personal satisfaction for me to participate in today's event and to acknowledge the spirit that it represents. It gives me faith, the same faith that infused our predecessors in 1971 in the friendship between our peoples and our nations. It also gives me confidence the next 50 years of our shared journey will bring us even greater satisfaction. Jai Hind, Jai Bangla. Namaskar.
Thank you, sir, for your address. I would now request all the dignitaries to return to their seats in the auditorium. We will now be screening the message by Her Excellency Sheikh Hasina, Honorable Prime Minister, Government of the People's Republic of Bangladesh.
This is a milestone in the journey of our bilateral ties. India recognized Bangladesh as an independent and sovereign state on the 6th December 1971. During the state visit of the Honorable Prime Minister of India, Sri Narendra Modi, to Bangladesh on 26th and 27th March 2021, we agreed on the joint celebrations in 18 selected cities, along with Dhaka and New Delhi, and to recognize the 6th December as Maitri Diwas. I pay my deep homage to the father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, and four national leaders. I recall the sacrifices of 3 million martyrs and 200,000 dishonored women of our liberation war. I also remember with great gratitude the sacrifices of the members of the Indian Armed Forces and its people in our liberation war. Excellencies, the foundation of Bangladesh-India relations was laid by our father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. In 1972, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujib said, I quote, "We have a very special relationship with India. The relationship is the friendliest. Friendship of Bangladesh and India is in our hearts. The bonds of friendship will remain firm and long lasting." Unquote. Today, I fondly recall the generosity of former Indian Prime Minister Indira Gandhi and her government, leaders of other political parties, and overall the people of India towards the people of Bangladesh in 1971. They provided accommodation to 10 million refugees from Bangladesh, gave space for the Mujibnagar government, and waged a diplomatic campaign in favor of Bangladesh. Our partnership is not confined to the treaties, MUs, bilateral agreements that provide the formal structures for our working relations. Today, our grand partnership has matured, taking dynamic, comprehensive, and strategic shape, and is based on sovereignty, equality, trust, and mutual respect. The relationship between Bangladesh and India is anchored in history, culture, language, and shared values of secularism, democracy, and countless other harmonies. Our bonds of friendship have been further strengthened, diversified, and expanded in the recent years due to regular high level political interactions and exchanges. The core of the bilateral relationship now needs to concentrate on people to people contact, trade, business, and connectivity, which have become increasingly important for both sides. Despite restrictions imposed by COVID 19, the relationships at all levels have remained stable and strong. This was evident in our excellent cooperation and collaboration in dealing with the COVID 19 pandemic. We continue to believe in the importance of our relationship. At the same time, this anniversary is an opportunity to reflect on the foundation of our bilateral relations and the path ahead. It is an occasion also to recommit ourselves to work towards further strengthening the long standing dynamic partnership between Bangladesh and India. I am confident that together our two countries and two peoples will continue to turn our vision and ideas into realities for decades to come. I thank you all. Joy Bangla, Joy Bangabandhu, may Bangladesh live forever. Long live Bangladesh India friendship.
We now conclude the opening session. I would request Dr. Nivedita Ray, Director Research, ICWA, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Honorable Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Indian Council of World Affairs, it gives me great pleasure to propose the vote of thanks. On this occasion of Maitri Divas, we are greatly honored to receive the message of the Honorable Prime Minister of Government of the People's Republic of Bangladesh, Her Excellency Sheikh Hasina, for our program. Her inspiring leadership and her guidance acts as a beacon for strengthening India-Bangladesh relations. I take this opportunity to express a heartfelt gratitude to His Excellency Mr. K.M. Khalid, Honorable State Minister of Culture, Government of the People's Republic of Bangladesh, for gracing us with his presence and sharing his valuable thoughts on this occasion. I would like to extend our special thanks to Shri Harshvardhan Singla, Foreign Secretary, Ministry of External Affairs, Government of India, for delivering a very insightful address. I thank His Excellency Ambassador Muhammad Imran, High Commissioner of Bangladesh, for sharing his valuable perspectives on this occasion. I also take this opportunity to extend our gratitude to the distinguished panelists from India and Bangladesh who have joined us on this occasion of Maitri Divas for the panel discussion on India-Bangladesh ties. I thank the Ministry of External Affairs for their support and guidance in organization of this program. I also convey my thanks to the print and electronic media for covering the event. Last but not the least, I thank each one of you in the audience for your valuable presence in this opening session and look forward to your participation in the panel discussion. Thank you once again.
This concludes our opening session. I take this opportunity to thank all the dignitaries for their valuable time. We will now start with our panel discussion. Audience members are requested to kindly remain seated.